Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Shankly Sessions, the Liverpool podcast we bring you as part of the upper tier offering. If you could head over to YouTube, smash that subscribe and bell notification button, drop a like on the video, enjoy the content. We are football and pro wrestling mainly. Lots of shows coming up this week, literally lots of live shows. I'll be live tonight at 9 o'clock with Marky. The Monday mashup is back. We're going to be giving a quick little preview of the League of Ireland, talking about transfers. We're going to take a look back at the Premier League and everything in between as well. So make sure you join us. Tuesday I should say, we are live as well, Pro Wrestling Weekly. We're going to be taking a look at Raw. We are on the final stretch now to go home Raw for Royal Rumble in Riyadh, and we're also going to be taking a look back at Saturday night's main event, which kind of laid the framework for the Royal Rumble in Riyadh. We have two watch-alongs this week for you tonight, this week on Pro Wrestling Weekly. SmackDown on Friday night, the go-home SmackDown in Riyadh. Join us from about 7 o'clock, I think it is. And then Saturday, one of my favourite nights in wrestling in the year, Royal Rumble night. Fantastic, can't wait to see it. So let us know your thoughts on all those things. Make sure you're keeping abreast of that. Also, we won't have, I'm not too sure what Bren's plans are for the SmackDown show this week, with us doing the watch along on Saturday night. And also, don't forget on Thursday Tier Talk with Darren, where we preview the Premier League, look back at all the football action. Of course, we will be talking about the Champions League as the final stages are realised and the top 8 automatic qualifying places will be filled. And on Friday then we have the draw for the Champions League, so people will kind of know their pathway then for the next stages of the Champions League. But let's talk Liverpool. Bournemouth breaking our hearts again. Last minute, last kick of the game, bozo moment. 3 to 4 Liverpool players lying on the deck as if they're sunbathing at a pool in Lanzarote, and Bournemouth squeeze a goal in and they beat us 3-2. And I have to say, once again, I'm not shocked, I'm not surprised. I kind of alluded to it on the preview. I was hoping we could squeeze out a 2-1. I was hoping when we got back to 2-2 we might find it in us to go find a winner, but we don't. We create another bozo moment, we cough up another late goal, and we kick away more points. You know, when you see Arsenal losing yesterday, you see United in their pomp now under Carrick, playing with a freedom and a flow. You see us playing and we're laboured and we're second guessing every pass, and there's a lack of trust between the players. We've so many players at the moment on the pitch playing as individuals, struggling to find each other. Again, you have Mo Salah coming back from the tournament just looking like an absolute bozo, doing absolutely nothing. You see Bournemouth on the break again when it breaks down, and you see what happens. It breaks down and Mo Salah's just casually jogging back, doesn't give a flying fuck about what's going on in the team. This is a guy who last year had his best season statistically in football under Arne Slot, and we see it now. Just an absolute bozo, got his contract, checked out, doesn't give a fuck. Same thing, you look at Virgil van Dijk. Too many mistakes this year, way too many mistakes. Love Virgil van Dijk, love Mo Salah, but both those guys are the senior players in the team, along with Robbo, who should be bedding in these new players and stuff like that. But instead you get a lot of finger pointing, you get a lot of excuses, you get very little conversation. Mo Salah has fuck all to say except when it suits him. You know what I mean? And that's just simply not good enough for a guy who's getting paid the money he's getting paid by the club. And yes, he's an absolute legend of the club, and yes, everything he has done for the club is absolutely amazing. Some people say last season he single-handedly nearly brought the league home to us. There's probably an argument for that. There's an argument to say that you're only as good as the players that are around you as well, because it is a team game. But sometimes we focus too much on individual fucking accolades, which pisses me off as well in a team environment. But that all aside, you know, it's really, really frustrating at the moment to see the reaction. We go out on Wednesday night, I think it was, and we absolutely put Marseille to the sword. Absolutely put Marseille to the sword. Playing lovely football in the transition, finding each other, playing with that kind of freedom. And then we come back, and on a Saturday evening in Bournemouth, we just decide we don't fucking fancy it. Like it doesn't fucking matter now, because we're not going to win the league. There's an arrogance about us that, sure, we'll get top 4, top 5 anyway, which now looks in question, big time. And this arrogance is coming home to roost. And it's amazing the reaction even on content creators and on people online and stuff like that. Get him out of our club, this, that and the other and all. I have to say, regardless of what your views are on Arne Slot, regardless of whether you still want him in, regardless of whether you want him out, and probably at this stage we need a managerial change. And I'm with that. But at no point should we be disrespecting this man in the way that he's being disrespected. And that's a problem in our fan base, because our fan base has now become a very self-serving fan base. Like, you know, I often say that with Liverpool, each season I start out, for me it's an obligation to deliver silverware. You know, not a target and stuff like that. And I say it all the time. At the level that we're at, it should be an obligation to deliver silverware. Similar to what you see at Real Madrid. We're not taking part here. We're in the business of trying to win at the elite level of sport. But I think, you know, everyone turns around and they go like, oh, he won the league with Klopp's team and all this kind of stuff and all. Go back and look at that last season under Klopp. Look at that team. Tell me how Klopp used Ryan Gravenberch. Look at what Mo Salah said in his interview in the summer about Arne Slot. How they sat down and they rejigged the way he was going to be used and how he was going to function on the pitch to conserve his energy, to be absolutely lethal in the final third. So what's happened? What's changed? So I'm sitting here on Saturday night and all I hear is he's got to go, Slot out and stuff like that. And I get it, there's validity to that. But we need to have a standard, guys and girls. We need to have a standard at Liverpool Football Club, and we need to respect people who have been successful for us. Arne Slot came in, took that team and brought it on to the next level and coasted away and won a league when it was totally not expected. Let's be honest here, most Liverpool fans with Klopp exiting the building and not signing a goddamn player that summer either, Bar Chiesa, which was absolutely fundamentally wrong, an absolute stupid move. None of us expected to do any more than top four and maybe a piece of domestic silverware, because we thought the drop off would be insane. And this man went out and absolutely won a league in a canter. The league was over in February. And yeah, here we are a season later with a lot of things have happened. You know, we don't have to continue mentioning, you know, what happened in the summer and stuff like that, the tragedy and all that kind of stuff. We don't have to keep on talking about how we brought in a bunch of new players, and those players that we brought in, really there was probably maybe 2, maybe 3 positions that we didn't fill, that we needed to fill. We didn't get Mark Gahey over the line, various other things. Then we come into January and we know that we're struggling. We've got injuries, we've got problems, we've got areas in the squad that we didn't address and all those things, and we sit on our hands. We watch Mark Gahey go to Man City. Okay, the wages was criminal, so I understand maybe that's why it didn't happen, but we're sitting on our hands. We watch Semenyo go to Man City. We're sitting on our hands. Whether you want Semenyo or you don't want Semenyo, that's a different conversation, because let's be honest, how can you sit back and say you don't want Semenyo when you look at how Cody Gakpo has played this season? Like, it's absolutely shocking, and it's the same thing that's said all the time. All the time. Continually said all the time. You know? And what we do is we afford these players way too much protection while we bury the manager. Absolutely bury the manager while affording the protection to these players that week in, week out, let us down as fans. Look at that Burnley game. How can you play the way we played against Burnley and then go out and play the way we played against Marseille and then go out and play the way we played against Bournemouth? And at any point can you think that that's a managerial thing, that that's a coaching thing? And then you hear people complaining about, oh, you look at Mo Salah, every time he picked up the ball he's isolated and he's on his own, he has to beat 3 or 4 players. Sorry, that's just simply not true. That's a lie to generate a narrative. Every time Mo Salah picked up the ball, most times he had players available to him to play it back and stuff like that, but he decides to put his fucking nose to the grass, run into a fucking corner, belt into a load of players and lose the ball every time. Every single time he picks up the ball, he loses the ball. He has no interest in finding a player. He wants to break in from the left and pull the trigger, and he never wants to be part of it. He's out there for himself. It's absolutely crazy. So what I would say is, yes, That was a horrible performance the other night. Absolutely horrible. But what difference has it been from this whole season? And this whole season, when you look at the way these players have performed, these players have down tools. Let's be honest. You look at Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk, that drop-off can't be that drop-off. These guys want a change. And I'm telling you now, I want the results to change. I don't want to see Steven Gerrard or Xavi Alonso anywhere near that seat in the dugout. I don't. So if these guys want to make a change, they better have a fucking plan. I don't want to be coming on here having to bastardize Xavi Alonso or Steven Gerrard, two legends of the club. I don't want to do it. That is not the move. We've seen what happened with Alonso at Real Madrid. And remember, Real Madrid generally is the bar for where teams want to be. Because if you're in around that level, it means you're in around success. I don't want to have to come on here and have a fucking go at Steven Gerrard, who's an absolute legend of our club, one of my all-time favourite players. That's not what I'm about, and it's not what I want to have to do. So he's not ready for that. We've seen what's happened when he stepped into the Premier League. He got ran out of places. He is nowhere near ready for that hot seat. Yes, they might come in, and for 2 games or 3 games we might get a bounce. But then what happens when they lose? Are we going to have the same shit then? Are we going to have Gerrard out-trending? Are we going to have Alonso out-trending? At what point do we think Xavi Alonso is the answer to this team? After seeing what happened at Real Madrid, having seen the drop-off in Leverkusen from the previous season where he was successful, I can't do it. I just can't do it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, Reds. You know what I mean? But I do think the disrespect at the moment for Arne Slot, if you want to critique him, if you want to critique his management skills, if you want to critique his in-game management, by all means do that. But be respectful about doing it. This guy delivered a Premier League in his first season. Yes, he may not be as endearing as what Klopp was. Yes, it's very hard to get over Klopp leaving the building. Yes, he's a bit more kind of that Dutch kind of arrogant abruptness kind of approach. But he was never going to be Jurgen Klopp. And I just think the disrespect at the moment that's out there, I think is insane. And in the meanwhile, you've got Hughes and Edwards in the background saying fuck all, putting him out front and centre to the Wolves. You've got FSG sitting on their fucking hands. And on top of that as well, let's not forget, what about the players? What about our captains and our vice captains? What about people coming out and saying the way it is? What about the fact that week in, week out, Dominic Szoboszlai has been our best player? What about the fact that Mo Salah ain't done shit this season and gets protected because of previous? As a fan base, we really need to think about what our approach is at times. And I think that's what we need to think about. And I'll tell you one thing now, as much as I want results to change and I want an uplift, if this manager goes and Alonso comes in or Gerrard comes in and these lads start balling out, my head will be fire. Will be fire. Because I will be questioning each and every one of these players about down and tools. Until next time, folks, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button and drop a like in the video. We may have a live show on Wednesday. I'm not too sure for the latter stages of the Champions League, that league finishing up on Wednesday. We'll see what happens. But stay tuned. Make sure you hit that bell notification and turn on all notifications as well, and then you'll know when we have live shows. Plenty up there at the moment already. We will talk to you again real soon. Come on, Reds. Let's fix up, yeah?